I want to talk about a question that we always ask ourselves mentally, but we never talk about it out loud. And that question is, what separates those who we look at as the best, those who continuously win at what they do, versus those who don't always win or those who are average at what they do? See, when we look at people like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, and other athletes, other technology savvy people, other business savvy people, there's something that separates those who are at the top and those who are in the middle, those who are average, I would say. And what it is these people who are at the top consistently and win at everything that they do, they have it internal. That's who they are. They're natural winners, meaning you can put them wherever you want to put them and they are going to win and be good at it consistently. Let's take Michael Jordan, for example. Last NBA game Michael Jordan played was in 2003 with the Washington Wizards. That's 19 years ago. 19 years ago, he shot his last jump shot in the NBA. People wear Jordans all the time. He's still running the sneaker game. He's still running the Charlotte Hornets, right? He's still having other business ventures in other sectors of life that he's extremely successful at. Let's take Kobe Bryant, for example. Of course, Kobe ran LA in basketball for 20 years. His next mission was to run LA in terms of film, in terms of writing and directing, producing. He had already written a series of children's books. He was already getting into writing screenplays, writing articles for magazines, right? So you put these people wherever you want to put them and they consistently win. And what it is it's who they are. It's who they are. They don't have a choice but to be successful at whatever they do. Whatever they do. Right? But they separate themselves by putting themselves in position to be dominant. Usually it starts in your morning. I was having a conversation with an athlete the other day, and we were talking about winning the day. Winning the day. If you've heard of winning the day, yes, Oregon used it for a while. I'm not sure if they're still using it now. When I was in high school, we always used that motto as well, win the day. Well, the question becomes, when does this day start? What part of the day should I win to make sure that the rest of my day goes well? The answer is the morning. The answer is the morning. And the question for why the morning is, what part of the morning should I be focusing on? Right when you wake up. What are you doing? Are you tracking your movements? Are you tracking what you're eating? Are you tracking what you're talking, what you're watching on TV? Are you getting on social media as soon as you wake up? Are you listening to detrimental music? That's the question right there. Two things: competitive edge and psychological advantage. Those are the two things you want to work towards when it comes to winning your morning. I'll give you an example. Let's say class starts at 8 o'clock, right? Most people get up around 7:30, depending on how close they live to the school. They get up, maybe have a little breakfast, head out to school, and they're in the classroom by 7:55, 8 o'clock. Well, that person that wakes up at 5 o'clock, who has a chance to study for an hour and doesn't have to rush, but he has a chance to study for an hour, maybe do a little meditation, get a little yoga in, right? Make sure everything is okay for class. He gets up at 5 o'clock. He's got 3 hours before class starts to make sure everything is in place for him to be successful that day. Now he has the two things, the competitive edge and the psychological advantage. See, one thing about greatness is this: you can't rush it. You can't rush that. You can't rush that process. That's a process that you have to be delicate with, because you have to pay attention to all details and make sure you're mastering all details of greatness. Kobe Bryant was a master at that. Master at that. When he talks about defending Kevin Durant, who was the hardest person he had to defend when he was in the league, it's because he understood the timing. He would literally count seconds. Okay, it takes Kevin Durant this many seconds to make this move. He understood all of that. He understood how he was coming out of Texas, right? But the greats, that's what they do. They understand the process, and that's not something you can rush. It's not something you can rush. They separate themselves from everybody else. And it starts with winning your morning. Winning your morning equals winning the day. And that's what sets you up for the competitive edge and the psychological advantage. And they put these in each avenue that they go into when it comes to life. If you think Michael Jordan is not as competitive as he was in basketball right now in business, you're mistaken. And it's evident. It's evident. Since 85, Jordan's been going crazy with the shoes. 85. And we're still wearing them in 2022. That should tell you something. So I want you guys to think about that today. I want you guys to think about that as you go throughout your weeks. How can I get that competitive edge? How can I get that psychological advantage over whoever I'm going up against, whoever I'm with? Starts with winning your morning. Winning your morning equals winning your day. And imply those things, impute those things into every single avenue of life that you're in. Okay? Apollo Sports Counseling. We out.